Welcome to Module 2, B2B Organizational Buying. My name is Fiona and I will be your instructor. Complete Module 2 and take the quiz to move to Module 3. Our learning objectives are as follows. Firstly, understand purchasing orientation. Secondly, explore organization buying classifications. Thirdly, cover shifts in sourcing practice. Let's look at purchasing orientation. Purchasing is defined as the process of acquiring resources and capabilities for the firm from outside providers. Purchasing is of major strategic importance to most companies. This is because a substantial amount of the resources available to a company are handled by the purchasing function. Purchases from suppliers account for more than half of the total costs of most companies, and in some industries such as electronics, telecommunications, construction and automotive, can be considerably higher. Let's now look at purchasing orientation, which refers to the overall philosophy that guide managers who make purchase-related decisions. Let's now have a look at the three purchasing orientations that make up the value network. The first purchasing orientation is buying, which is a narrow orientation with a focus on obtaining the best deal in terms of price, quality, and availability. It's about maximizing power over your suppliers, and avoid risk where possible. For example, Walmart adopt a buying orientation that is very coercive and one-sided. Let's take a look at some of the developments in buying. First, global sourcing takes advantage of international suppliers who offer very competitive prices and good quality. Secondly, target pricing is when you drill down to subsystems and eventually to individual part costs to achieve your pricing objectives. Japanese companies in particular in the electronics industry use target pricing. Thirdly, customized materials are specified to a manufacturer's requirements and may include raw materials and plastic molds. Lastly, e-hubs are B2B websites for a particular industry. It provides a meeting place for buyers and sellers in a specific field to source their various B2B raw material, supplies and service inputs. Alibaba is a great example of an e-hub. Let's examine further the various ways B2B companies source online. The B2b Matrix is a two-way classification scheme: manufacturing inputs versus operating inputs and systematic sourcing versus spot sourcing. We can classify B2B hubs into four categories. First, MRO hubs are horizontal markets that enable systematic sourcing of operating inputs. Many of the best-known players in this arena, including W. Grainger, Ariba, and Commerce One. Second, yield managers are horizontal markets that enable spot sourcing of operating inputs. Third, exchanges are vertical markets that enable spot sourcing of manufacturing inputs. Finally, catalog hubs are vertical markets that enable systematic sourcing of manufacturing inputs. Let's now have a look at procurement orientation, which entails broadening the domain and span of purchasing. The firm is involved in doggedly pursuing quality improvements. Through the integration of procurement activities such as order processing with other functions such as material handling, logistics, and physical distribution, and through more cooperative relationships with suppliers. Also, improving quality, through adopting ISO 9000 standards and total quality management. Cooperating with suppliers is the aim, to draw upon their resources to gain significant quality improvements and cost reductions. Negotiation is based on a win-win scenario. Our last orientation is supply management, which entails the integration and coordination of purchasing with other functions within the organization as well with other firms in the value network, such as customers, resellers and suppliers. Finally, the value net is a high-level view of the key relationships that drive any company's ability to succeed sustainably. Interestingly, sustainability is more critical than economic profit. In order to succeed with the value network, companies need to add value over time by understanding and cooperating with their suppliers. In summary, purchasing orientation is of strategic importance to most B2B companies. Purchasing is global in scope. Strategic issues in purchasing have a profound implications for business marketing strategy. Understanding purchasing orientation helps companies understand the degree relationship development required for product and service solutions.